that's when you go watch the video. If you know that you're struggling to understand what it means for things to be a solution, go watch the video. And if you understand that, it will help you. But if you are struggling with homework, one, email me or reach out. Because someone reached out last night, I remembered, oh, I should have told y'all that lesson 8 homework wasn't due today, just lesson 7. I emailed y'all that last night. Yeah, okay? This is why you need to check your emails, okay? I mean, I have free tutoring 4 times a week. Yes. Lesson 7 homework is due today. Hold up. Because I told y'all this before. Can you turn homework in late? Yes. It is 10% off every day it's late. A 90 is way better than a 0, okay? So if you don't have it today, get it done and get it turned in. Because lesson 7 homework, I believe, was only 3 questions. 3. It tells me you didn't do it.
I did the wrong thing.
So didn't, right? 3 questions, okay?
I did the wrong thing.
Remember, I emailed you back and I said only lesson 7. If you look at the back, it says lesson 8. Yeah, if you look at the front, it says lesson 7. On the back, it says lesson 8. Okay, stop and listen. Hold. Okay? So remember, these videos are designed to help you be better prepared, or to understand what you missed. And if you need to, if you're ever out one day and you email me, I can email you a copy of the things that you're missing and you can watch the videos. They're also a good study tool. One other thing with these videos is if you go in and look at them, it's not me just posting the video online. I go through and I tell you exactly from minute 0 to 13, this is what we covered. From 13 to 26, this is what we covered. Only watch the parts of the video that you need. Don't watch everything. Right? But I will say in the bell ringers, we cover a lot of important ideas that some of us are still struggling with. If you still don't know how to determine if a question is statistical or non-statistical, there are videos for every single day that we've covered those bell ringers. Go watch them. Just the bell ringer part, that is about that. No more than 5 minutes for that portion. You just have to go find where it is. Okay? So I asked you all to create any equation that is equivalent to a equals pi r squared. 2 things I want to tell you, and I need your heads up, and I need you paying attention to this. Pi, it does not equal 3.14. Okay? Hold on. Pi is approximately equal to 3.14. Okay? Pi is approximately equal to. Pi is actually 3.1415926, and that decimal keeps going forever without repeating and without terminating. So you cannot say pi is equal to 3.14. It is close to 3.14. That's the first thing that I saw in the quizzes. Okay? Pi is not exactly 3.14. It is just approximately equal to 3.14. Alright? And I'm sure that's what your previous teacher said. You need to be careful and listen to the language. If they told you it is equal to, you need to break your mentality of that right now. They are not equal. It is close, right? That's what that approximately equal to means. Right? They're close, but they're not exactly the same. So in that regard, do not put 3.14 in parentheses. Your calculators have the symbol pi in there. Use them. Okay? But that's not what I'm asking you to do here. I asked you to create an equation that is equivalent to a equals pi r squared. By the way, it looks like, did someone do an n right here? Because this would be correct, but does anyone know if they put an n accidentally, Jalen?
That's mine.
Okay. Look at your calculators. Look at the left side at the very bottom.
Pi.
You see a pi symbol there.
Oh, there it is.
What is that R?
What R? What are you talking about?
Oh, he's talking about the R squared.
Up here? Or on the calculators?
I'm talking about with pi. That ain't an R in there.
No, that's an arrow, isn't it? If you click on it, it gives you other options.
No, I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about on the equation that you have to do.
Yeah?
Right.
It's a variable.
What a variable.
Does anyone hopefully recognize this equation?
Oh, wow.
One, it's a variable, but two, please tell me someone knows what that variable is.
Wait, what variable?
No.
Say it again. Radius. I didn't hear you, my bad. Okay.
Pi radius squared.
Area of a what? Circle is equal to pi r squared. You should know that formula. Okay? That's all I'm saying there. Okay? But let's look at this again. Okay? What, really quickly, this was an answer I saw show up a couple times. Are y'all thinking that you're using the commutative property with this?
You probably use this.
Okay? That is not the commutative property. Do not write that for the commutative property. The commutative property means that if I have 3 plus 2, isn't that the same thing as 2 plus 3?
Yes.
Yes. If I have 4 times 5, isn't that the same thing as 5 times 4? Yes. The commutative property does not move across the equal sign. It is for when you are adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing two things. Okay? Now, I could use the commutative property here. Does anyone know what I would get if I use the commutative property right here?
R2 equal pi.
Huh?
R2 equal pi.
On R2, R squared. Does that look different? Is it effectively the same? So would these be equivalent?
Yes.
Yes. What are the properties that create equivalent equations?
It's
Gabe, I need you to stop playing on the calculator. I need your eyes up here to pay attention.
equal to, equivalent to.
Okay, but what are the properties that create equivalent equations?
Division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction.
Okay, those are operations, but the multiplication property of equality. The division property of equality, right? When I look right here, okay, Jalen volunteered that he did this, okay? A is equal to pi r squared. And then Jalen added 2. Did that 2 come from anywhere? No. But if he adds 2 to one side of the equation, he has to add it to the other side. Are those now equivalent?
Yep.
Yes. It would help if you're struggling with this to write this information down. Okay? Because a lot of us missed this question on the understanding check yesterday. Please hear me very clearly on this. I told you all this yesterday, which I went back at, by the way, and I looked at my slides from Tuesday where I had it written that you have a quiz on Wednesday. So I know I told you.
When?
On
I
Tuesday.
don't remember.
Okay, you may not remember, but it was on the slide. So the very last slide of the day that I showed y'all before the bell rang said that we had a quiz on Wednesday.
Oh, that was
No,
my fault. I don't never read it, so.
Just because you don't remember reading it doesn't mean it
I
wasn't
said
there.
I never read it, so that's my.
Okay, but those are things we got to pay attention to. There's a reason why I have a last. Josh, is that going to destroy the expo and prevent other people from being able to use it? Then quit it. Put the cap back on it. Okay. Pay attention to the slides. Pay attention to the end of the day. That's why we don't pack up when I, Mr. Kinney, am trying to tell you important stuff. Okay? But that's all you had to do here. Does anyone see any other equations that might be equivalent based on this?
I kind of lied.
Matthew?
Maybe the one says 8 times 3 times r squared times 3.
Okay. So a times 3 is equal to pi r squared times 3. What do y'all think?
This is.
Just say yes?
What about mine?
Hold on, we'll get there in a second. Do y'all think that might be?
Yes.
It's very close. Here's the one mistake. I think what you meant, is this yours, Matthew? Oh. Whoever did this, what I think you meant to do was a times 3 equals pi r squared times 3. Notice how it accidentally is still in the exponent though? Yeah, you didn't cube the a, so we shouldn't cube it. We should be multiplying this whole thing by 3. That's the only issue with that. So that's just, if you actually hit the exponent button on the calculator, it automatically keeps it in the exponent. You have to click to the right to get it out of there. So, would that be equivalent?
Yes.
Why do we know it's equivalent?
It's the same.
Multiply by 3 to both sides. Where did the 3 come from? It doesn't
And.
matter. It's a property of equality. That's it. Okay?
So is it okay if you put r squared, is it okay if we do pi squared?
So you're talking about if you have this and you square that?
Yeah, but take out the 2.
No. It is pi to the first power, it is r to the second. Only the r, the radius, is getting squared. Good question. Okay, we already talked about 5. What about 6?
Yes. No. Yes,
I can't see this.
6 says a plus 3 is equal to pi r squared plus 3.
Yeah.
Did they use a property of equality? Where does 3 come from? It doesn't matter. The whole point is that it is equivalent because we use the property of equality. What about this a divided by pi equals r squared?
Yes.
Why do you say yes?
No. I'm not.
Why do you say no?
That's right.
It's right, Kelsey?
Huh?
Do you want to give some insight into why it's right?
Oh, I didn't say it was right, but I said it was right. And if you
Remember,
say
if they are equivalent, whoops, if they are equivalent, we had to use what?
Property of.
Property of equality. Is there any property that I could apply to this equation to get this one?
Yeah.
Division by?
Pi. By pi.
See how it's a divided by pi here?
Yeah, divided by.
So if I divide by pi here,
No, that's
I
not.
do it to the other side. Hey, what is pi divided by pi?
Pi.
Not pi.
3 and 1.
That's a 1, isn't it? So do I get this?
Yes.
Yes. Notice sometimes when I create an equivalent equation, it doesn't cancel anything out, so it doesn't look super different. Sometimes though, if we use an inverse, like we have multiplication, so we divide it, it can create a very different looking equation. Hello? You're good. I'd have to look it up. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. Can you have them just email me and I'll email? Yeah, I'll just email it out to all my students again, so they have the link to it. Does that sound good? Whatever email. So I had them give me a preferred email on a syllabus at the beginning of the year, and so I'll send it to that. If I didn't get a syllabus, I can yes, they'll go to TCS. Thank you. Bye. All right. So let's move on from that question. Do we understand how to create an equivalent equation better?
Yeah.
Kelsey says no because you already knew how to do it. Okay. Really quickly, I want to point this out. Do y'all remember when I did a problem just like this during the bell ringer yesterday?
No.
Yeah, I wrote it over there on the chalkboard.
Yeah, I turned around and looked at
The
it.
bell ringers are designed to help move your thinking forward. It's based on what I know is coming up on quizzes, based on things I've noticed you struggling with, like staying awake. Okay? Pay attention to the bell ringers. They're not just busy work. I collect the data so I can look at it. Now, this is another thing I saw in the quiz that is very important, and I need you to understand this. What does it mean for a question to be statistical?
Have options.
I saw a lot of people say something about having only one right answer. Okay? But what do a lot of us have up here that we should be thinking about? They're not a variable, variability. If the question does not have variability, then it is not statistical. Okay? If there is not variability, then the question is not statistical. And this is something that came up which earned some people points, okay, but is not completely accurate. If I ask the question, what is your favorite sport? Okay, so let's pause for a second. Okay, what is your favorite sport? Jalen, what is your favorite sport?
Baseball?
Is there any other favorite sport for you?
No.
No, it's just baseball. How many responses are there?
One.
That's only one. This question, if I just ask someone, what is your favorite sport, there is not variability within that question because that's a survey question. It only pertains to you. What is a question that we could actually be asking that this survey question will help us answer? What is the class's favorite sport?
I think I got that wrong on the test.
That's okay. We need to learn from it, right? So what is the class's favorite sport? Now, will each person have a different response?
Yes.
Yes, right? So Jalen's favorite sport is, you said baseball?
Yep.
Right? Jeremy, what's your favorite sport? Football. Anton, what's your favorite sport? Huh? Field? Like track and field? Usually we would go with like one of the field events. What's your favorite event? Shot put. Okay. So shot put's good. I like it. Gabe, what's your favorite sport? Basketball. Ari, what's your favorite sport? Volleyball. Alana? You don't know? Personally, my favorite is MMA, mixed martial arts. We watch it almost every weekend. My wife and I do. Okay. So like, did we get a lot of variability within that question? Yes. You used to do that? Notice the difference though, right? Notice the difference between the overall question and the survey question. If I just ask, what is your favorite sport, then that is directed to one specific person and there's no variability within that. But this is also why it is important to justify. If you gave me that response with no justification, you got a 0 on the quiz. If you gave me that question and you said, well, the category, it'll be categorical data, and there is variability because each person will answer differently, you are showing me that you understand there's supposed to be variability and that is categorical. That simple sentence is what separates you from a 0 and a 5. The justification matters. This question alone has no variability to it. But if you can indicate to me that there's a survey attached to that question, all of a sudden there's variability. If you are explaining it that way, your justification matters. Okay? So what is your favorite color? What's your favorite color? Is there any variability in that? No. But if you were to say, what is your favorite color, and everybody will have a different response, then there is variability in that. Does that make sense? But that's why it's better to not say, what is your favorite color? It's better to say, what is the school's favorite color? Okay? That's different. Alright? Also, really quickly, do you see this word that keeps popping up? Answer, answer. Okay, don't ever say it because it doesn't clarify anything. This answer is not what we're really looking for. The proper term is response, right? The responses from people are different or have variability. We all good with that?
So my answer wrong up there then. I put have options.
What? That was yours? When you say you have options, that's a less mathematical way to say that there's variability, but I need you to get to the point of understanding that the responses have variability.
I couldn't spell that.
This is the same. Yes, you didn't spell options right either, though.
I didn't.
No.
I thought I spelled that right.
Options is spelled O-P-T-I-O-N-S. You spell it.
Options.
Where did it go?
Right there on the
O-P-I-T-I-O-N-S.
options.
A little bit different. It's okay to misspell things, but I'd rather you go with variability and misspell that, okay? Last question, and I'll go ahead and tell you, on this quiz, I will not be counting it because I don't think anyone completely got this one right. But this is not something that we should have struggled this much with, okay?
This is my shirt.
Yeah, a lot of us struggled here, okay? What I have is 2x to the 5th plus 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x cubed. Okay?
add like terms.
Okay, I do need to add like terms or simplify like terms, but what should I do first?
So
The
different.
parentheses.
Anton, pay attention. Kaisen, head up. That's the opposite of head up. Here. Okay, but you say it was in the parentheses, but are those like terms?
No.
Yes.
No.
Because the third.
Does it? Remember, what does this multiplication actually mean? Repeated addition. So I'm adding x squared how many times? Nope. 7 times. Right? And then I'm taking away x cubed how many times?
6.
Can I do x squared minus x cubed? Are they the same thing? No. So I can't subtract those two, which is why Kelsey was talking about like terms. I cannot do what's inside those parentheses.
Come on.
What can I do instead? It's understood to be a 1.
Distribute.
Can't I distribute into those parentheses? So remember, this is saying that I'm adding x to the 5th how many times?
2.
2 times. Huh?
Where do you get the 1 from?
When it's just minus, it's understood to be a 1. You can also just think about it as distributing that negative there, but it's understood to be a 1. Okay? So x to the 5th, I am multiplying, so I'm repeatedly adding x to the 5th how many times?
2 times.
2 times. Remember, the 5th is the power. I'm adding x to the 5th twice. And then I'm adding what here?
X.
I'm adding x to the 3rd 4 times. Right? X to the 5th twice, plus x to the 3rd 4 times. Then what am I doing here?
X squared.
What would be x squared? So subtracting x squared 7 times, and then adding x cubed 6 times. Are any of those things the same?
No, but you can add 4x to the 3rd and 6x to the 3rd.
So are any of those things the same?
Yes.
Yes. See where those cubes are? X to the 3rd?
Yeah.
If I have 4 x to the 3rds and I add 6 more x to the 3rds, how many do I have?
10.
10. Notice the x to the 5th and the x squared are not the same to anything else. One of the biggest things, right, was I saw people doing a lot of work with this and not just distributing and combining like terms. You gotta do that. 1, 2, I saw a lot of people do 4 minus the 6. But am I just subtracting 6?
No.
I'm subtracting a negative 6. Right? You gotta distribute as well. Okay?
Well, what the
Okay? So while y'all take some final notes, for those of y'all who are hopefully taking some final notes, based on what I saw in the quiz, we're going to wait a day to get back to lesson 9. I have another practice problem from lesson 8 that we're going to work on right now. And I do want you to go ahead and get lesson 7 out, because when you get started on this problem, I will, or the lesson 7 homework, I will collect lesson 7 homework while we are working.
I hope this is
Yes, that lesson 7 homework. Say it again. You should have gotten it before today. I need you to get it. Do you know where it is? Okay, I need you to bring it.
Isn't this it?
Does it say lesson 7 cumulative practice problems on there?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that.
Anton, while you are looking for your backpack,
Somebody said
while you're looking for your backpack, use this too. I need it back. That's my personal one.
You better keep up.
You better keep up.
At least that way you have all your papers together. Why do you complain? You don't have a backpack. Alright. Who have I given the word to so far? Okay? When y'all get started on this, that's when I'll collect the lesson 7 homework. So go ahead and have your lesson 7 homework out. Okay. Oh, hey, my hand was off. My hand was off. You do that again. Do what? You already done? Say again. Don't finish it yesterday. Wasn't that bad? Okay. Got a lot of work here. At least a lot of it. Okay, so take that one. What?
See, you know what you're doing. Don't get
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, y'all. Hey, Terrence, I need you to listen. Okay, I need you to listen, though. I need her to listen as well. Okay, so remember, I'm coming around to collect lesson 7 homework in a second. Just leave that there on your desk. 1, the quiz had a total of 7 questions to do in 30 minutes. Okay? That is almost 5 minutes a question. What? So, some of those questions should not have taken anywhere close to 5 minutes. And so you had enough time. If we have been studying and if we've learned the content the way we're supposed to. At a certain point, it is on y'all if we haven't learned it, and at a certain point, it's also on me. However, that is a checkup of where you are in your understanding. If you do better on the test, am I going to reward a better understanding on the test?
No.
Serious? Okay. Are you joking or you just don't know? Okay. I told y'all this, I think, yesterday. If you make a 45 on the quiz, but you make an 85 on the test, have you shown me that you understand the material better?
Yes.
Yes. Should I reward that?
Yes.
Yes. They won't do that in college, but I believe that I should do that at this level of your learning because I want you to focus on growth over everything else. Okay? So, I don't have the quizzes quite ready to get back to you. I'll definitely have them ready tomorrow, but don't stress about it. Use it as a learning tool. Hey, can you just wait? I need to talk to the class. Just hold on. Okay? And you do need to see it because you cannot learn from your mistakes if you ignore them. Learn from your mistakes. All right. Let's get started with today. So I just passed out one more lesson 8 paper to help us get a little bit more practice with what we're doing. If we finish lesson 8, we'll start getting into lesson 9. So remember, given an equation, we want to be able to solve for a particular variable. This is the last skill we are learning before we test. So more than likely, we are testing next Thursday, next Friday at the absolute latest. Mark that again. When are we testing?
Next Friday.
Next Thursday or Friday at the absolute latest. Okay?
Will there be a chance that if you
She not gonna be there.
Say that again.
No.
I told you I was coming.
Next Thursday or Friday at the absolute latest. So, we need to be able to solve for a particular variable, and we need to know what the meaning of the phrase to solve for a variable. Based on what I saw in the quiz and based on what y'all did yesterday, we need to do this 8.3 before we do 9.2. So, the 8.3 that I just passed out, that's what we want to focus on. Tank A initially contained 124 liters of water. It has been filled with more water at a constant rate of 9 liters per minute. How many liters of water are in tank A after the following amounts of time have passed. Two quick things. Pay attention to your units. The volume is increasing at what rate? 9 liters per minute. Is everything up here in minutes? No. You need to pay attention to that. Okay, 1. 2, we are trying to create a what out of this problem? An equation. See how there's a variable in here? We want to create an equation. That is known as what mathematical representation? Kelsey knows it, because I taught it to her last year.
What happened?
If we're trying to create an equation, what mathematical representation is that?
What? I don't even remember.
Yes, you do.
Y equals mx plus b.
That is one type of equation, but all equations fall under.
Algebraic.
Thank you. You said algebra, but they're known as algebraic representations. Hear me very clearly on this. Sometimes creating an algebraic representation is hard. Some of us may see this one right away. Okay? But it's okay if you don't. What are some other mathematical representations that can help you create an equation?
A graph.
A graph, a table, a picture, and a chart. Well, a chart's a table. Picture, and a verbal representation. Now, we start with a verbal, right? Some of us are going to be able to make the equation right away from the verbal. If you're not, though, that's cool. Some of the best learning that I've seen from students happens when they make a table to make sense out of what's happening. Because a table is really easy to make. Because, hey, at 0 minutes, so I got my minutes, I've got my water. At 0 minutes, how much water was there?
124.
124 liters. You gotta read the problem. It's there. After 1 minute, how much water was there?
What, that plus 9.
That plus 9, right?
I think so.
Can that table help you find a pattern for what is happening? Yes. Right? Use your resources. Use tables, use graphs, use equations if you see them right away. But play around with it to try to find the equation here. Because notice, we need to be able to figure out how much water there is when there are m minutes that have gone by. We all clear on what we're trying to do? Are we going to work the whole time? Because here's the thing, I don't need you to know it perfectly. I need you to try and play around with it to try to figure out what is happening. And when you do that, you will grow and you will learn. Okay? I don't need you to understand it perfectly. I need you to try. And when you work together, when you talk it out, you will learn to the best of your ability. Let's get to work. So work on 8.3, 1A, and then 1B.